Hi. She's from Meva
Like you're
Jewelry.
on mute.
Yeah, she's on mute.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for joining. It's so nice to put a face to all the conversations we've had.
Yeah, same here. How are you guys?
We're great. Excited for tonight's event. This is the first for us, so this is really exciting.
Oh, wow.
And I'm so glad that we had so many people join, and really, really happy that you guys are all here.
This is great. This is definitely one of my first types of wellness events this big virtually. So this is cool. Thank you for having me.
I'm excited to hear you speak. So I see Kelly is already in here as well, one of our speakers.
Hi, Kelly. She's on mute.
Oh, you're on mute.
There we go. Is that better?
Yep.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. So I'm from Chicago, but I'm originally from Michigan. I know that somebody is on the
Luciana was saying that she's from Michigan.
Hi, yeah, I'm from Michigan.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm from Allen Park. It's just south of Detroit.
I'm from Troy. Cool.
Very cool.
Super cool. All right, I'm gonna wait one more minute, and then we'll see how many people are coming in, and then we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Let me just set up my deck. 1 second.
You ladies have your drinks?
Oh yeah,
Say that
I have
again?
mine. I was just gonna ask, like, is anyone else drinking? This is what puts me to sleep.
What are you gonna drink?
I
could
so
get that, but wine.
with my wine club subscription, we got when we went to Paso last year, we subscribed to Steinbeck, and this is like a vignette. And I hate white wine, but this is so good. So I was like, okay, since I'm gonna get on this, I'm gonna have a nice glass of wine.
My husband had a glass of red wine poured for me at dinner. I was like, I can't drink that. I'm presenting.
Hey, you can always drink one. This is the PJ party.
You totally can. You should.
No. I am not good with my words when I drink. The first thing that goes out the window.
What do you usually drink, Kelly?
Me, I used to be a big wine fan, but now I just feel like, now that I know so much about sleep, I feel like it interferes with my sleep. So I typically will drink, I love tequila, and I drink margaritas or those, like, hard seltzers that are kind of trendy.
Do you like margarita?
Love margaritas. That's like one of my favorites. But you know why, just a fun tip, you know why red wine makes you so tired?
I know, it's sleepy too. I'm like done.
It's because the skin of the grapes contains melatonin.
Oh,
wow.
Interesting.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I think that's all I can drink now, wine. I can't handle liquor at all. Like, it honestly, just like a glass of red wine, it puts me to bed, and that's pretty much it.
Melatonin.
Yeah.
I'm drinking water just because I need to hydrate more.
It helps you fall asleep because it has a sedative effect, and it also increases this chemical called adenosine, which puts us to sleep. It connects the neurons in our brains and makes us sleepy. So it increases our levels of adenosine quickly, but then you have the rebound effect, and they decrease, greatly, quickly. And then that leads to night wakings. Sorry, am I getting
I'm gonna stop you there because I know you're like kind of spilling it out a little bit. Not yet. Let's hold on. I'll be like, I want to listen to this too, but hey, we have agenda, so I want to make sure that we kind of like following those. Okay, so I guess we can go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start on the slide. Give me 1 second to share my screen so everyone can kind of see that. And Belinda will be taking over for most of the slides and handing it off to our partners and speakers as well pretty soon. Give me 1 second. You guys can see my screen, right?
Yes, I can see it.
Cool. All right, cool. Yeah, Belinda, go ahead and take it over.
Okay, ladies, well, thank you so much for coming to tonight's pajama party. I'm so happy to be here. I want to thank everyone for taking the time out of their Saturday to celebrate wellness and sleep this evening. My name is Belinda. I'm your host and the event coordinator here at Creative Women's Code, joined by Ari, our founder. Tonight's event is the first for Creative Women's Co. It's about how to get the sleep you deserve, especially during challenging times that we're facing today with this pandemic. But this event will provide realistic takeaways for you that you can start implementing tonight, this week, or whenever. So I'm very excited, and I'm so happy that we have such great speakers and brands that are helping to support this event. And for those of you who are not familiar with Creative Women's Co., Creative Women's Co. is an organization consisting of a series of intimate gatherings for creative women entrepreneurs. So we help to promote businesses for women. We help to support them with their branding, with their just overall business needs. So if you're looking for a community that you can, rely on to meet other people in your industry, or even not in your industry, definitely consider joining up for Creative Women's Co. I personally was a member last year, and I fell in love with everything that this company stood for. As a creative individual myself, I felt the need to just always be open to learning more and being around so many beautiful people that are doing the same thing I'm trying to do. So if you're looking for a community, we do have a special discount for today if you'd like to sign up. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, but we do have a promotion where you can get 15% off on your membership dues. And as a member of Creative Women's Co., you do get discounted to at times free events during the year that we have. We do specialize in more in-person events because we want to give that level of intimacy and genuine connection with our guests. So again, I can't pressure enough that this is a great organization that I'm a part of, and I truly support, and I'm so happy that I got to meet Ari because it's just blossomed into something so beautiful. So with that being said, I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsors and our partners for today's event. I would like to turn our first sponsor to Felice Donna, a sleepwear brand company out of Chicago that helped make this happen, as well as Evolve Her, which is a co-working and personal and professional hub based out of Chicago. So I would like to give this to Veronica and Maria to explain their beautiful company and their sleepwear for today.
Hi, nice, thank you. Thank you, Belinda, and thanks, Ari. Thanks for inviting us. My name is Veronica. I'm the co-founder of Felice Donna brand. Felice Donna means happy woman in Italian, and we create silk, sleepwear, and loungewear for women. At this moment in the collection, we have pajamas, robes, and sleep dresses. The brand was created with the mission that women can feel beautiful and happy, not only when we put this beautiful dress on and go out somewhere, but also when we at home, when we spend time with our family, when we spend time with our friends, having a pajama party, or with our husband. And we've noticed that we did a little survey with our friends, asking them, well, what do you usually wear at home? And we noticed that a lot of people, they not really taking care, not like taking care, but we don't have like this in-house wardrobe. We usually think a lot about like what dress to buy when we go out, what dress to wear at work. But this gap is like, why do we not care a lot what we wear at home? What is the feeling we have putting on a new dress? Same feeling we could have having a nice pajama, a nice robe. And this was the mission behind the brand, to make women feel beautiful and comfortable. And also it was important to have the fabric, which is not making you sweating at home when you sleep. And that's why we selected silk. All our fabrics, they come from Italy, because Italy is very well-known silk manufacturers. And with this in mind, we trying to create pieces for women to be beautiful and comfortable at the same time. And be working to expand the collection, having a lot of different designs, sizes. But as ladies mentioned, we're a small company. We started the business last year, but we are really want to build a relationship with every woman in the United States and maybe possibly in the world, with this mission that we have this opportunity to feel that beautiful inside, not only outside.
And comfortable at the same time.
Comfortable at the same time, exactly. Marie, would you like to add something?
You actually covered almost everything. Just wanted to add that speaking of today's topic about the beneficial of silk to our health and quality sleep, that sleep is a natural fabric and it's hypoallergenic, so it promotes blood circulation. It's perfect for any season. It would be, you will feel cool in summer, and it will reduce the transition in heat in winter. And and the last but not least, that you feel beautiful and a little bit luxurious, and you go to bed in this mood. And I don't know, I'm not a sleep consultant, but I truly believe that it helps with the quality of sleep. I think that's it.
And a little last note that for somebody that don't know, we are running the giveaway, and we have how many? Almost 2 hours before the end. So for you guys who are not aware what the giveaway is, you can follow our page and the page of Creative Women, as well as comment under each of the giveaway posts. And by the end of this webinar, actually after that, at 9 p.m., we will run maybe we can run it earlier by the end of this webinar. We will run the random name selector, and you can have the chance to win the pajama of your choice, of your color, like the color of your choice, size, or a sleep dress. So don't miss the chance.
Yep, definitely follow them. And I wanted to also give a special thanks to our 2 giveaway brands today, Base and Meva. And if they're available, if Melik, if you'd like to say anything, if Sarah Beth is in here, I'm not sure, I'm looking. Just a couple words
Alexa's here.
about the brand.
I can talk a little bit. How are you guys? I'm very excited to meet all of you. We are a New York City-based brand. Meva means actually community. It's a entirely handmade jewelry brand, and the idea came also with a mission. I myself worked in corporate for a long time, and I always wanted to do something that I felt that I can contribute to others. And with Meva, we work actually with small artisans from underdeveloped countries that make our jewelry, and that provides them jobs and better fair wages and obviously better work conditions, because they actually work from their own place of work versus like big factories with very minimal wages. And I would love if you guys follow us on Instagram. We are very focused on building a community. It's not only a jewelry, it's more than that. Like, that's why I love meeting women with different backgrounds and, these kind of events. And the idea is literally like, with jewelry, you feel that you belong to a community of women who care about others, enjoy each other's communities. Like, it's just a lot of that involved. So, and there's a lot of good pieces. So please check it out. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. And I really appreciate you providing your product to us. It's beautiful, as you guys can see on the screen. They provided a beautiful earring set. So all attendees will be entered to win the raffle that we have at the end of their beautiful earring set. Thank you so much. And I don't think Sarah Beth from Base is here, but we're also offering a 7-day discovery pack from their products. They're a natural hemp and cannabis company that just recently launched this past April, that I was stumbled upon on a website, girlboss.com, and I connected with her. Her name's Sarah Beth. She's a co-founder, and she's providing our attendees a special discount up until tomorrow, as well as a discovery pack for today's raffle. So thank you so much to these amazing brands that have helped to make this event possible. And with that being said, I think I'm done talking for now. I will let the speakers start. We will begin with Kelly Murray, who is a certified adult and pediatric sleep consultant from Kelly Consulting. Kelly, give it away. Thank you so much.
So first I want to thank Ari and Belinda for asking me to present tonight. I'm really excited to be here. And also thanks to our sponsors, Evolve Her and Felice Donna. And one thing I want to know about the silk pajama wear, I think it's great that it's a material that keeps you cool, because our body temperature actually has to lower by 2 degrees in order to fall asleep. And if you're wearing something that's hot and heavy and doesn't breathe well, it's going to be really hard to fall asleep and stay asleep. So I think it's a great product. So I have a presentation. So I think I should be able to share my screen, correct?
You should be. Let me know if you don't see the share screen options over there.
Okay.
If you don't see it, I'll make you a host.
Okay, great. And then I just, pardon me. Give me 1 second. I didn't realize my presentation was up and then it closed down. I don't know why that happened, so my apologies. Let me pull it up really quickly. Okay, so while I'm doing that, so the purpose, can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, okay, let me try this one more time. So share
Did you
screen.
click on the share screen? Okay.
There we go. Okay, now it's allowing me to. Wonderful. Awesome. Is everyone able to see my screen now?
Yes, I can.
Fantastic. All right. So the purpose of my presentation today is I want to share some tips with you, whether you're just looking to add another hour of sleep to your night because you know that if you got a little bit more sleep, you would feel your best. Or maybe you're suffering from some situational insomnia due to the COVID-19 crisis, or you've been in insomnia for your entire life. I want to make sure that everyone can take away some tips that you can put into action right away so you can get back to sleep and feel your best. So what I'm going to cover is just a little bit about me, and then I'm going to go into why sleep is so important. I think that in order to make something a priority, you really have to understand the benefits. Then we're going to do a quick sleep science lesson. That way you understand how sleep works and the why behind my recommendations. I don't know about you, but I'm the type of person that I have to know why I'm doing something in order to be committed. And then we'll talk about why it's so important to lower your cortisol in order to improve your sleep. And we're going to talk about a technique that you can use when you wake up in the middle of the night called Don't Just Lie There. And then I'm going to open it up for Q&A. So I started my career in sleep about 5 years ago as a pediatric sleep consultant. And I myself have actually suffered from sleep issues my entire life. And they reared their ugly heads about a year into my business. I know probably most of you are entrepreneurs and own your own business. And in the beginning, I'm sure you can relate to this. You really want to go above and beyond for your clients and make sure that they're satisfied. And I think I went a little bit too above and beyond, and I became very, very stressed. I was working with these moms whose babies and toddlers were having sleep issues, and they were contacting me throughout the night, and I just wasn't getting good sleep myself. And it just snowballed. And there was literally a week where I probably got about 1 to 2 hours of sleep every night. And as a sleep consultant, it's pretty hard to tell somebody that they have to value their sleep if you're not getting sleep yourself. So I decided to reach out to an adult sleep consultant, and it was completely life-changing. All the techniques that she taught me fixed my situational insomnia, and I got back to sleep. So I knew right then and there that I eventually wanted to get into the adult arena, but I just didn't know when. My pediatric business was booming, and I have 2 young children. And I thought it was something I would do eventually. But then last year, I discovered that Christine Hansen, who owns Sleep Like a Boss, was offering a certification in her program in Bali. And she has just such a wonderful program. She's world renowned. She's been, she has had a TED Talk. She's been written up in National Geographic. Vogue, Forbes, so lots of top publications. And I wanted, of course, to learn from the best. So I jumped at the opportunity, and I've been helping adults as well ever since. And I really love her program because we don't just look at, the psychological reasons we're not sleeping, but also the physical reasons. So we take a mind-body approach. So let's talk about why sleep is so important. I know that we all can relate how amazing it feels when you wake up after a full night's sleep. There's nothing better than it. So sleep is much more than that. Of course, we're going to feel our best when we get a good night's sleep, but we really need to have adequate sleep for our physical, mental, and emotional well-being, especially now with the risk of COVID-19. So while we're sleeping, our immune system is hard at work. It's releasing cytokines, white blood cells, T cells to fight infection, inflammation, and viruses. That's why when you're sick, you're so tired. Your body wants to sleep in order to fight whatever you're fighting. There's a lot of research out there that proves that sleep is critical for a healthy immune system. One research study in particular showed that adults who get less than 7 hours of sleep, they're 3 times more likely to catch a common cold. We also know that vaccines are 11 times less effective in sleep-deprived individuals. Also, one study showed that sleep deprivation was the #1 risk factor when it comes to catching a virus, even more so than smoking or your age. So not only is sleep important for a healthy immune system, I mean, there's just a laundry list of benefits. When it comes to our emotional and mental well-being, sleep is critical. When we are sleep deprived, our body thinks that there must be some sort of danger because it's not natural for us to not get sleep. It's so natural, like we should all be sleeping. So when we're not sleeping, our body thinks that there is danger. So what it does is it turns on this portion of our brain called the amygdala. It puts it into overdrive. And the amygdala is a part of the brain that regulates our fear response. And the reason why our amygdala goes into overdrive is so that we can have a strong reaction to any threat. That's why when you're sleep deprived, everything seems like a big deal. It's because your body wants to have a strong response to protect itself. So there's research to show that sleep deprivation leads to anxiety and depression, postpartum depression. So it's really important for mental health. Also, in terms of productivity, for every hour of sleep you lose 2 hours of productivity the next day. So I know as an entrepreneur, a lot of times I want to, burn the midnight oil, but I have to remind myself it's not worth it. It's better just to get some sleep because I can get twice as much done the next day if I get a full night's sleep. So as you can see, there's a lot of other risks too associated with sleep deprivation, but I won't go into those because I have a lot of good tips to share with you. So let's talk a little bit about sleep science. I love this stuff. I'm a big science nerd. So there's 2 hormones and a chemical that regulate our sleep. So the first hormone I'm sure you've all heard of is melatonin. It's the sleepy hormone. And our body is so smart. Our body produces melatonin when there's an absence of light. So that's why it's important that your sleep environment is as dark as possible, because any little bit of light is going to send a signal to your brain to suppress melatonin and produce cortisol. So our eyes can actually even detect light when our eyelids are closed. So it's the light that sends a signal to our brain to suppress melatonin and produce cortisol. That's also why the experts recommend that you avoid screens an hour before bedtime. And when I say screens, I mean your iPad, your iPhone, television, computer. It's the blue and green light from the screen that mimics the sunlight. So, and it's actually 10 times stronger than the sun. So if you're on your computer right before you go to bed, your body's going to think it's high noon. And your cortisol levels are going to be high and your melatonin is going to be suppressed. So cortisol, that is the alert hormone. That's what keeps us awake. I think cortisol gets a bad rap. It's really important for our bodies to have cortisol. It regulates our blood pressure, our insulin levels, and it keeps us safe. So, if your child's running into the the streets, you're going to have a strong reaction because you have a cortisol response. The problem with cortisol is that in our modern society, we are exposed to a ton of stressors. And every time we're stressed, our cortisol levels increase. And we want our cortisol levels to be low at night so that melatonin can take over and allow us to fall asleep and stay asleep. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about how to reduce your cortisol levels in a bit. But first, before I do that, I want to talk to you a little bit about sleep pressure. So the other system that regulates our sleep is called sleep drive. And how it works, there's a chemical called adenosine that our body produces while we're awake. And while we're sleeping, our body rids itself of the adenosine. And the adenosine connects to neurons in our brains, and it makes us sleepy. And one fun fact is that caffeine actually connects to the same neurons as adenosine. And that's why caffeine keeps us alert. So it's really important if you're having sleep issues to make sure that you stop consuming caffeine at least by 2 o'clock, if not by noon, because caffeine has a 7-hour half-life. And so even if you drink it, you cut yourself off at noon, by 7 o'clock, your body is only has depleted half of the caffeine, and it's not going to be fully out of your body until 1 o'clock in the morning. So it's really important, to watch your caffeine levels because it has that counteractive effect on the adenosine. So I'm sure you all know that there's 2 different types of sleep. There's REM sleep and non-REM sleep. REM stands for rapid eye movement. And when we're in REM sleep, our body is taking all the information from the day, our brain is, and storing it and organizing it. And this really cool process called neuroplasticity is happening, where our brain actually creates new neural pathways to facilitate future learning. And that's usually what we do in the morning. And it's a lighter stage of sleep. And then non-REM sleep is more the physical sleep. It's when our immune system is hard at work. 75% of growth hormone is actually released while we're sleeping. Our tissue and bone is repairing itself as well. So it's more of the physical sleep. So this is what our sleep looks like overnight. So I just want to show you this to explain why, if you're someone like me who used to have issues with staying asleep. So when you fall asleep, you're typically in a very deep sleep for half of the night. As you can see, we're initially in REM for just a little bit, and then we go into non-REM sleep. It's the physical sleep, and it's very, very deep. And then the second half of the night, we're cycling between REM, that's dreaming, and then actually stage 1 of non-REM sleep, which is a very light sleep. And during these sleep cycles, it takes about 90 minutes to complete them. After the sleep cycle, there's going to be a little tiny wake up in between every cycle. So what happens is if your cortisol levels are really high at bedtime, you might be able to fall asleep because the adenosine took over and you're just so tired because you've been up all day. But then come like 3 o'clock in the morning, when we're now in a lighter sleep, if we have cortisol in our system, we're going to be more alert. Also, our adenosine levels are going to be low. And then that's why at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're awake and you're thinking about, something that happened to you 10 years ago. All these issues that you're faced with, your to-do list, and you can't fall back to sleep. So I want to talk to you a little bit about how to lower your cortisol levels, because I'm sure most of us have very high cortisol levels these days with the pandemic. So I think it's very important that we relax, that we take time to relax. I know everyone says self-care, but it is so important. As women, we want to take care of everything. We want to take care of our families, our business, our clients, and we rarely have time to ourselves to relax. And relaxation is so important to regulate your cortisol levels. So before I worked with my sleep consultant, I would meditate before bed and think to myself, okay, well, I should be able to sleep tonight because I meditated before bed, because meditation has been proven to reduce your cortisol levels. And it's true, you should meditate before bed. But what's important is what you do throughout the day. So if you're going like 100 miles per hour all day and you don't take a break, you can't expect yourself to unwind like 10 minutes before you go to sleep. It takes much more than that. that. So I recommend to my clients that they incorporate some relaxation morning, noon, and night. And it doesn't have to be much, just 10 minutes, 3 times a day. We all can find 30 minutes a day to relax. And some of my favorite relaxation activities are meditation, like I just mentioned, mindful walking, belly breaths, and how you can incorporate them into your routine is pretty simple. So what I do is when I wake up in the morning, before I even get out of bed, I start to do some belly breaths. And you probably don't realize this, but a lot of times we're walking around breathing from our chests. And when we breathe from our chests, our body thinks that we're in fight or flight. And if you breathe from your stomach, from your diaphragm, that sends a signal to your brain that you're in rest and digest, and that's going to lower your cortisol levels. So if you wake up in the morning and you start, your day quickly, start looking at emails or Facebook and start stressing, your cortisol levels are going to spike immediately. So you want to start your day out on a good note. So like I said, before I even wake up, I do some belly breaths. And when I breathe in, I want to make sure that my belly expands. And when I breathe out, I want it to retract. And I just do it for a minute or so. And it makes a huge difference. And another tip is to try not to look at your phone until at least an hour after you woke up, so that you can at least start your day on a good note and not start thinking about all of the stressors out there. Another great way to incorporate relaxation is just to take a walk midday. And it actually has 2 benefits. Like the walk is going to relax you, but also the sunlight is going to send a signal to your brain that it's high noon, and it's going to help with your cortisol levels. You want your cortisol levels to be elevated during the day. We don't want them to be through the roof, because we're stressed all day, but we do want them to be higher, especially around high noon. So that's going to help to elevate your cortisol levels so then it can rebound the rest of the day. And when you're walking, what I want you to do is just to pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to the wind on your face, the temperature of the air, the sun, the birds, the leaves, instead of, being on your iPhone, taking a meeting, you could listen to music, but I think it's just really important just to kind of be in the moment, and that's going to help to reduce your cortisol levels. It's a form of meditation. And research shows that people who meditate at least 10 times a day, that it improves their sleep more so than focusing on your sleep hygiene. So that's things like making sure that your bedroom's cool, you're not looking at screens, your bedroom's tidy. So meditation's been found to be very, very effective. And then at night, that's when, your traditional meditation can take place during your bedtime routine. And you can simply just sit there and focus on either your breath, and I wouldn't change your breathing at all, just like a relaxed type of breathing, or you can focus on a sound off in the distance, and it helps to not only lower your stress levels, but also clear your minds so that you're not thinking about all the things that you need to do the next day. So relaxation, morning, noon, and night, 10 minutes, if that, 3 times a day is going to make a huge difference. Also, it's really important that we prepare our mind and body for sleep before we crawl into our beds. I like a bedtime routine that lasts anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes. And it's great to start with a bath. Not only is a bath going to help to relax your muscles and your minds, it also helps to lower your body temperature. As I mentioned before, our body temperature has to lower by 2 degrees in order to fall asleep. That's because temperature is a cue to our body that it's nighttime. Our body is so in tune with nature. I think it's so cool. And, if you think about it, back before our modern, homes and heating systems and cooling systems, we slept outside, and it was always cooler at night. So the bath, what it does, the warm bath, it actually increases your body temperature when you're in it, but as soon as you get out, your core temperature is going to lower. So it's going to help to facilitate that process. I also would recommend, if you're, experiencing a lot of stress with work or life, just journaling, like getting out all of your stressors in a journal. That way it's out there. Like our minds want to go 100 miles per hour because our mind thinks we're going to forget something. And if you put it on paper, then your mind's like, okay, I'm okay. It's on paper. I'm going to remember to do this the next morning. So spend maybe 10 minutes journaling. And, you know, while you're journaling, also think about all the good things that happened to you during that day. Research shows that people who practice gratitude before bedtime, that it improves their sleep duration and quality of sleep. And all you really need to do is maybe write down 3 good things that happened to you during the day. And it doesn't have to be anything, you know, extreme, like you got a promotion. It could be something as simple as I had a great cup of coffee this morning. And then, you know, think about that coffee, like why was it so great? Or, you know, my child gave me the best hug today. And like, just think about that hug and why it makes you so happy. Because if you're in a place of gratitude, you're not going to be stressed and anxious. And like I said before, you want to do some meditation, deep breathing. Another good thing to do before bed is just to tidy your room. If your room is cluttered and there's stacks of paper, then your mind's going to be active because it's a distraction. So I also want to talk to you about night wakings. So most people who have sleep issues typically don't have problems falling asleep, although that is common too. But the real stickler is those night wakings where you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you just can't fall back to sleep. So I want to give you some tips on how to handle those. So first and foremost, don't look at your clock. So if you have clocks in your room, I would cover them. Maybe turn them around so that you can't see the clock. Because what's going to happen as soon as you see that time, you're going to start stressing out. Oh my God, it's 3 o'clock. I have to wake up at 6. It's probably going to take me another hour to fall back to sleep. That means that I'm only going to get 2 more hours of sleep. And you start, you know, calculating how much sleep you already got, how much sleep you're going to get. And then you start to stress about your performance the next day and how you're going to feel the next day. So it's better to not even know what time it is. Just know you're awake. The next tip is just to accept that you're awake. So there's a psychotherapy technique called acceptance and commitment. And what it means is that it's important to accept your situation, that it is what it is. And it's okay if you're not happy about it, but just to accept it. Like, okay, I'm awake. You know, it's normal. Tons of people, you know, suffer from insomnia. There's nothing wrong with me. And I'm going to be okay. You know, you're not going to die if you're awake for a couple hours in the middle of the night. Yeah, you're probably not going to feel the best the next day, but it's okay. Nothing bad is going to happen to you if you're awake. So it's better just to accept it instead of stressing about the fact that you're awake. Like I said, it's okay. I don't want you to say, oh, I'm awake, I'm so happy, because I mean, that's a lie. But you can acknowledge, yeah, this sucks that I'm awake, but I'm going to be okay. I'm going to survive this. I've woken up, you know, many times in the past, and I still get through the next day. The next tip is to not just lie there, because what happens if you lie in bed and start worrying, your subconscious is going to associate your bed with worrying. And we want your subconscious controls your sleep greatly. You want your subconscious to connect your bed with sleep and nothing but sleep and sex. You can have sex in your bed, of course. That's why they say don't, you know, do work in bed or watch TV in bed. It's because we want your brain to associate your bed with sleep. We don't want your brain to associate it with you being awake at 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, going through the laundry list of things that you have to do the next day. So instead of laying there, if you lay there for 10 minutes and you know that you're not going to be able to fall back to sleep, then just get up and do something mindless, something that's not going to be stressful. If you're thinking about something, if you know that there's something in your mind that's bothering you, then journal. Get out your journal and start writing it down and maybe come up with some solutions. But if you're just awake and you don't, you know, there's nothing on your mind, it's better to do something like clean a closet or clean out your spice rack. Just do something that doesn't require a lot of thinking and something that's boring so that you'll get tired again. And once you feel tired again, then go back to bed. And if you can't fall back to sleep within 10 minutes, do the same thing. Get up, you know, read, do a chore, sweep the floor until you get sleepy again. And then just keep doing that. It may not help you to fall asleep faster initially, but soon your brain's going to realize, when it's in bed, it should be sleeping. And then it's going to help to alleviate those night wakings. So I hope that those tips help you to get more sleep, to fall asleep faster, stay asleep, so you all can be your best, your creative best, feel your best, be happy and healthy. And now we're going to open it up for a quick Q&A.
Hey, Kelly, I know a couple of people have sent me their questions. I have one that I can't actually say who it is from, so I'm just gonna do an anonymously for this one. Okay, the question is, where is it? Well, let me find it. Okay. Is there any advice around hot flashes?
Yes. So that can be a huge sleep disruptor. So one thing that we do when we work with our clients is we run something called the Dutch test. And we're able to evaluate your hormone levels and help you balance out your estrogen. You probably have low estrogen levels, which are leading to the hot flashes. So I would recommend, either going to your doctor or a naturopath, a functional medicine doctor, someone like me who can run a hormonal test and recommend some ways to help you to balance your hormones. And there's plenty of ways plenty of methods out there that don't involve drugs, like natural remedies to help you to balance your hormones so that you can prevent those hot flashes. But in the meantime, what I would do is, if you know that you're going to have hot flashes in the middle of the night and you're going to wake up sweaty and it's going to be hard for you to fall back to sleep, I would prepare for it in advance. So I would wear, silk pajamas, because that's going to be nice and breathable and keep you cool. Maybe there's pads that you can buy for your mattress that help to regulate your temperature and keep you cool. I would make sure that you have an extra set of pajamas out. So if you wake up and you've had a hot flash, you can change very quickly. And then I would keep your room on the cool side. So it's recommended that the temperature of our room is between 62 and 68 degrees to facilitate sleep. So I would probably have it closer to 62.
Cool. The next question I have, sometimes I'll get 7+ hours of sleep, but still wake up feeling exhausted. Do you know what could be causing that?
You may actually need more sleep. So the recommendation for individuals between 18 and I think it's like 65 is between 7 to 9 hours of sleep. So you likely maybe need more sleep. So I would try going to bed maybe a little earlier to see that if you add maybe 30 or even 60 minutes of sleep, if you can wake up and feel better rested.
One more. Hold on, where is it? I'm trying to find it one more time. Okay, here you go. How do you get in a good sleep routine with significant others who are night owls or who may not follow the same schedule as you?
Yeah, I know that could be tough. My husband is a night owl, and I try to spend some time with him before I do my bedtime routine, because I need to be in bed every night no later than 11, because my kids wake up between 6:30 and 7, and I definitely need 7 or more hours of sleep to feel my best. So I think communication. You have to, tell your partner, listen, I need to go to bed at this time, and I really want to spend some time with you before I start my bedtime routine. So this is the time block I have. So I always tell my husband, 9 o'clock, I'm yours, 9 to 10. And then 10 o'clock, I go upstairs and I start my routine. And then he finishes watching his dude shows. But I think communication and having a very, a schedule. I know it sounds pretty anal, but I think it's really important to be cognizant of the time so that you can get to bed on time and get the sleep that you need. So just, having that nightly schedule and communicating that to your partner.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kelly. Is there anybody else have any questions? I think we still have question for one more.
I do. I was wondering, thank you. Is that considered having hot flashes if you are having sleeping problems mostly around your period?
You know, it could be hormonal. If you're having sleeping problems around your period, because all of our hormones work together. And so cortisol and estrogen and progesterone, the female sex hormones, they're interrelated. So if there's imbalances with your sex hormones, that can influence your cortisol levels and also your body temperature too. So it might, like I said, it might be worth it to run a hormonal test just to see if maybe your hormones are imbalanced. That way, when you do have your menstrual cycle, that it won't be as impactful to your sleep.
Okay, last one. I got one from Tracy. So Tracy says, why do I get really hot or really cold around 3 to 5 in the morning? It seemed like my body temperature dramatically changes all of a sudden.
Yes. So actually around 3 o'clock, our body temperature should dip. And if it doesn't, then it could lead to a wake up because your body thinks that it must be morning because your body temperature didn't dip. So that's probably why either there's hormonal reason why your body temperature is not dipping or environmental, that's leading to the wake up. And sometimes you will wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and feel extra cold. You know, maybe you kick off your covers because of that dip in body temperature. That's very perceptive of you.
Okay, cool. We do have one more question. Okay, let's do this one real quick. Okay, how do you feel around adaptogens and medicinal mushroom like reishi that help you sleep, and you take on that long-term use daily?
Yes, I do recommend to a lot of my clients to take adaptogens. But what I do is I test their adrenal glands because adaptogens are typically recommended if you have like adrenal fatigue. So you've been stressed out so much and your body's produced so much cortisol that your body actually stops producing cortisol. And your cortisol levels will be low. So that's typically when I recommend an adaptogen. But, you know, I think that if you talk to your doctor and ask if it's safe for you, that there's typically not a lot of side effects to the adaptogens. And it may help with your stress levels if you're an anxious person.
Awesome. I don't think I get any other questions, but if anybody else have more questions for Kelly, please feel free to reach out to Kelly. I left the information for Kelly on the chat as well as the one that she already included in her slide right over here. So feel free to definitely connect with Kelly right after this one. Thank you so much, Kelly, for all the amazing info. That was like a lot of information. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know about you, Belinda. I feel like it's like, whoa, really? Is that it? So that's really cool to kind of learn from you about all these amazing insights. All right, so I think if you can, Kelly, can you turn off your screen share? Fantastic. We are gonna try to do a quick breakout session. Let me find, where is my screen? Okay, there we go. There we go. Can everybody see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So we're gonna do a quick breakout session so everyone can kind of get to know who's who in the room, just kind of get to know each other a little bit, meet another woman who actually came to this event today, and perhaps, you know, ask questions in terms of like what really works for you for sleeping. I mean, you can always like share some of your insights, or maybe there's a big takeaway that you learned today. So maybe that could be like one particular questions or like a, I don't know, like a icebreaker type of conversation that you guys can do. So I'm gonna break out everyone into a smaller room for about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna come back to the main room as well, and then we can have Marisol take over for the next speaker. Sounds good? Okay, give me 1 second to break out everyone. Where is my settings? There we go. Let me see. Is everybody back? Awesome. How was it? Did everybody have fun getting to know each other?
Yeah, we did.
Definitely.
Yeah, I realized my like microphone was off like the entire time.
Oh no.
It happens.
We'll see if we can do another one after Marisol's talk, and if we have enough time to do that again. But okay, so the next thing on the agenda is definitely we want Marisol to share her insights on wellness. But before that, I don't know how many people actually know who I am. I'm Ari Krzyzak. I think I met most of you who are joining the event today. If you don't know me, I am the founder of Creative Women's Co, as well as director of programming. So if there's any particular event that you would like to see going forward in the future for Creative Women's Co, feel free to let me know or let Belinda know, and we'll try to make it happen. Obviously, if you know amazing speaker who would be amazing presenter as well and sharing important knowledge and insights for our community, we'd love to hear about that as well. I'm also the co-founder of Scalofia. If you don't know what that is, it is our it's a company that I built with my husband. Basically, if you ever wanted to go business with your husband, it's a little bit tricky. So if you ever have any questions around that, ask me separately later. People always ask me that. And it was like, how do you work with your husband? I was like, well, for the better or for worse, right? Definitely. So that's a separate conversation later. Anyway, so back to Scalofia. We are a digital brand consultancy helping women tech founders with their branding, anything around digital design, as well as web solution. And honestly, Belinda has recapped everything about Creative Women's Co earlier, and I would love to see more of you joining either our community, either the free one on Facebook group, or even like on our membership. So all of the videos that we are recording for all the virtual events, as well as the past virtual events that we have them all in our members vault. So if you want to check them out, feel free to let us know, and we can also give you that 15% discount code a bit later if you want to be a member. Now I'm going to pass it to Marisol San Miguel. Is she here? She's still here, right?
She's here.
I'm trying to find
still
her.
She's here.
Oh,
and then
okay.
I can share my screen also.
Yes, definitely. Please take it away.
Let me see.
Let me stop my screen first. Let me know if you find a share screen, Marisol.
Share. Okay.
And while she's getting that started, I'll just do a quick intro for her. So Marisol San Miguel is from Ruby Soul Food and Vitality. She is a certified personal trainer, health coach, and nutritional strategist. Originally from Chicago, but currently based in Miami, Florida. Marisol empowers her clients with mindful eating and believes that wholesome ingredients are essential to a happy and healthy life.
Thank you. Can everybody see everything? Thumbs up if you can see and hear. Awesome. Yep. Thank you so much. This is super exciting for me. I'm so excited to meet you guys. And let's start off with a serious question. Take a look at each of these pictures, and I want you to answer in your head or in the chat box, are you the dog or are you the cat? I think we can all, maybe some of us are on the dog side, some of us are on the cat side, and I hope that after these slides coming up, we have a little bit more insight, tools, and knowledge so that we can become maybe more of the cat if we feel like more and more of the dog. And I also just want to say, I think Kelly had an excellent presentation. I think you guys are going to see that there's a lot of overlap when it comes to our presentation. So I'm going to try not to rehash too much of all of the good stuff she already talked about. But I do want to start off with a little quick win. I think we can all agree just from so far what we already know and what we've learned so far today is that there's a ton of things that you can do for your sleep, right? And it can be a little overwhelming. So let's stop the overwhelm. And I just want to give you also a super quick win, something that you can do easily starting today or tonight before you go to bed. So real easy to remember, breathe and chill. So what do I mean by that? By breathing, again, something that you can start doing tonight is 5 belly breaths in bed before you go to sleep. You don't need anything at all. You just need your body. When your head hits the pillow, you're just going to put your hands over your stomach, like Kelly was telling us, and you're gonna just take 5 really big deep breaths, and you can even try it right now. Breathing in through your nose. You should feel how your stomach kind of comes out, and then as you exhale through your mouth, all of your muscles in your stomach contract. And so what that's doing is it's gonna, again, lower your heart rate, which is then gonna signal to your body, hey, it's okay to relax. And I'm also only focusing on my breath, which is then gonna help to clear out any of those swirling thoughts from work and the day, whatever it is. Your second quick win is chill. And again, Kelly mentioned this. You can biohack your sleep by just simply lowering the thermostat of your apartment, of your room, of your house to 60 degrees at least Fahrenheit. And now what that's gonna do again is we're like animals. When the sun goes down as animals, we naturally wanna prepare for sleep when it gets cooler. So anything that's even a little cooler than what you typically live at is gonna be really effective. And coming from me, I'm a person, if you saw me earlier, I wear like robes all the time in Miami. I get cold very easily, so this is not exactly comfortable, but I will guarantee you it works. So more on that, if you have questions, let me know, but those are 2 quick things that you can start to do today. Oops, what happened? Sorry guys, okay. Here we go. So now getting back to a little bit more about me, I'm Marisol. I'm a health coach and a nutritional strategist. Typically right now, my life looks like all virtual work where I'm designing programs and working with clients one-on-one with wellness programs that cover their movement, their nutrition, as well as their recovery habits. So it's a really comprehensive lifestyle coaching approach. And I am about to launch my first ever healthy e-cookbook, so I'm really excited about that. Just so you know about who's giving you this information, my wellness journey really started back when I was in college. I tried to use food and exercise as a way to navigate discomfort when it came to just daily stresses of school. I was in kind of a toxic relationship, and I just really struggled with my identity and knowing where I fit in. And so I thought that the best way to gain that control back in my life was going to be through body transformation. But unfortunately, I did it all the wrong ways. I ended up undernourishing myself by pretty much depriving myself of as much food as possible, ate as little as calories as possible, and I overworked my body by constantly exercising to the point of exhaustion on a daily basis. And what I saw is that over time, I was not only not fulfilled with the results that I saw, though I lost a dangerous amount of weight, but I also distanced myself socially from important people in my life, like my friends and my family. And I realized that I was out of energy and really just felt crappy. So I knew that I needed to make some changes, and I decided that I was going to dedicate my career and my life to wellness and fitness. And I knew that I needed to do that by educating myself properly. So I moved to Miami. I began to build my career as a personal trainer with Equinox Fitness Club and continued to learn from world-class leaders of the industry and implemented everything that I learned. I would put into action myself, try it, use it with my clients, figure out what really worked. And it was through that process of taking action and being open to new ideas that finally enlightened me to what I call the holistic approach to health. In other words, incorporating not just what you're doing physically, not just what you're eating, but also your mindset and how you recover. And so that's why I'm super excited to share with you guys today. I'm trying to figure out how to move these slides around. Here we go. Where we're going to talk about sleep. So the agenda for today is we are going to talk a little bit about quickly why sleep matters. I know you guys already probably have an idea about that. We're also going to talk about stress and not how to eliminate it, because I think we all know that's impossible. Stress isn't going anywhere, but what can we do on a daily basis to reduce and diffuse that stress? And then finally, how do we optimize our movement, nutrition, and recovery habits? So I'm going to be sharing a lot of what I coach my clients through. So let's talk about why does sleep matter again. Again, the main purposes for sleep is that it clears out the waste, not only in our mind, but also in our gut. And gut health is something I'm super passionate about. We will get to that a little bit more in nutrition. It also restores us. That's really important because it's going to help us to prevent neurological disorders like Alzheimer's disease. Getting proper sleep also solidifies our memory. I know you gals out there are working hard from home, raising children. It's really important that you have sharp memory, mental clarity. It's going to help you to be more productive and just help you to function better on a daily basis, and really just to show up better as a, for your family. Having quality sleep is also essential for your metabolic health. So if you have fitness goals, which I think most of us do, whether that's maintaining, losing weight, gaining muscle, preparing for an endurance event, you want to make sure that you're getting that quality sleep for your performance. Studies have shown that when you sleep 5 to 6 hours per night instead of the recommended 7 to 8, you're actually going to be burning less fat at rest and going to burn more carbs. So not going to get too sciencey on you, but essentially if you're trying to stay lean and fit, when you're resting and at sleep, you want to be burning majority fat. So when you compromise how much rest you give to your body, you also compromise your ability to burn as much fat as you could. It's also more challenging to stay on track with your eating habits when you're sleep deprived, and you could also become more sensitive to insulin and be at risk for metabolic syndrome like disease or like heart disease and diabetes as well. So now let's get into how to reduce and diffuse daily stress. So it's important to realize that stress is part of our lives, whether we like it or not, and we have no control over a lot of it, but we do have some control on how frequently we diffuse it, and we can have control on reducing it. So there's physical stressors, which can be like working out, which, that's a good thing. You can also put physical stress on your body with poor posture. So if you're working from home a lot now and you find yourself like more hunched over, I think we can all agree that when we're constantly on the phone, what happens with our neck posture? We're tilted forward like that. So that creates all this pressure down on the spine. Also, again, if you're working from home or just typically have an office type job, you're more sedentary, which means you're less active in general. Physical stress can also come from inflammation in the body. Inflammation can come from your diet. It can come from medication. It can come from having an injury where there's more attention brought to that area of your body. And so the body reacts by inflaming itself. And you can also put physical stress on your body through artificial light exposure, which is anything that's not the sun. So if you think about house lights, your cell phone, your computer, your TV, anything like that, physically, it's sending signals into your body that's stressing it out. You then also have mental or emotional stress that we get from day-to-day life, working from home, depression, anxiety. So the takeaway here is that it's essential that given all of the stress that we have on our bodies, we must take breaks strategically throughout the day. And that's what's really going to help you to get the kind of sleep that you want. It's not a quick fix. There's no magic pill that just like will get you sleep. It's just like, transforming your body, or, like as entrepreneurs, when you have business goals, you have to put in the work consistently day after day. And so let's go through each of the pillars that I typically help all my clients with that really give them the best possible results. So what we're first going to do is talk about increasing your daily activity. So this is important because this could be anything, depending on what your specific lifestyle is right now. You can make a difference. So one tip that I have is spending some time outdoors. When you get that vitamin D, that sun exposure, it's going to help that melatonin that Kelly talked about release at the proper times. So if you're stuck inside all day, you're not getting that extra vitamin D, and your melatonin release is going to be thrown off. So it's really important that at the very least, get yourself to go outside, You don't have to do a crazy long run. It could simply be a walk outside. It could be a brisk walk. It could be walk outside on your porch and just get some sun while you breathe. Could be very simple. You can also do a midday stretch or a workout. Again, I emphasize taking these breaks throughout the day. That's so important because you want to make sure that you don't just wait till you run all of your energy out until the end of the night, and that's when you give your body a rest, because at that point you are so hopped up on those stress hormones, it's going to take a lot of work for you to become relaxed again. So I highly recommend when you have that lunch break, when you take that water break, whatever you do, I'm sure you guys have some type of break during the day, do a nice stretch or use that opportunity to fit in a short workout. What that's going to do is it's just going to release tension from your body. It's going to boost your mood, and it's going to actually give you more power and energy and clarity to go through the day at the same speed that you started it at. And then finally, hacking your work environment. So if you know that you're really uncomfortable sitting in your chair for work during COVID, try to get a new chair. Try to see if you can get a chair that, you know, either one, supports your back if you have a really hard time sitting up straight, or maybe if you're only sitting for here and there, maybe get a stool, so that way that's your reminder to check how much you are slouching, shoulders back, head forward. I'm going to also show you guys another stretch that you can do at home that is something that very simple. Like if you don't have a standing desk or something like that, you can change up your work environment just by working in a stretch. Let's go back to that. We're gonna go into the restorative exercises. So as Belinda mentioned, as part of what I do as a health coach is a lot of training with exercise. So what I recommend when you do choose those exercises is, if you're especially stressed out, I would highly recommend you focus on body weight as opposed to added load, because you want to lighten up the load on your spine. If you know that you have really poor posture, if you know that you're super sleep deprived, and perhaps maybe you just don't have access to gym equipment anyways, keep it lightweight. Your body provides plenty of resistance and challenge for you to work with. And by doing these different exercises that I'm about to show you, you can also really maximize your mobility in your joints, which I think we can all relate. Like if we aren't really moving a whole lot during the day, that's when you're gonna like wake up with neck pain, or maybe at the end of the day, you're just not feeling so great in your upper body, or you have hip pain. So if anyone can relate, I hear you. So some examples, yoga. I think a lot of us are familiar with yoga. You can always do some yoga poses. I'm going to show you guys some animal flow and just some home stretches. So let me get my robe off, and I'm going to move my computer so I can show you guys. I'm going to put this on the floor. And if you want more information about any of these, we'll give you guys information to learn more, because I know sometimes that might be hard to grasp all right now. So let's go first over a few just simple stretches that you can do. These are very much yoga-esque. And this first one is going to be a plank position. You're going to go from a plank to basically a downward dog. So all I'm going to do is place my hands underneath my shoulders, place my legs straight back behind me. You want to make sure that, sure my pants don't expose too much. You want to make sure that your butt is not sticking up, nor is it slouching, right? Because we want to maintain that core connection. So I'm thinking of actually like tilting my imaginary belt buckle upward. So now I'm a straight line, and I'm just going to go from this position, breathing in, and then I'm going to exhale, and I'm going to go into my downward dog position, breathing out. And I'm just going to go through these two positions, and this honestly feels great. All I'm doing is I'm stretching my shoulders, my hips, my calves, the whole body is involved. Super simple. You could do this maybe 10 to 15 times. And that could be a very simple work from home stretch. Another idea for you guys is going to be a half kneeling stretch. So for this one, I'm going to grab something for my knees. So I'm just going to use my robe. So let's say you have a small, shorter desk. Instead of sitting in a chair, you can simply set up a pillow underneath your knee.
place your opposite foot in front, and this is what's called a half kneeling position. Full kneel would be 2 knees down. This is also great because you really get to stretch your hips. I like this one because it's a little easier to balance. You could set up your desk right in front of you. Same idea with the hips. I'm shining my belt buckle up towards the ceiling, right? So I'm not sticking my butt back, I'm shining it up. I feel a huge stretch down my hip flexor. My glute is turned on, and look at my posture. I'm nice and tall. And then I can do my work. I can take a little break like this. I can maybe add some arms in, stretch. And then of course, make sure you stay even. Go ahead and get the other side. Same idea. Stretch it out, breathing of course, or do your work. The last stretch I'm going to show you is an animal flow move. That's why I have the little crab there in the corner. This is one of my favorite body weight mobility exercises to teach my clients, because not only is it restorative, but it's also challenging enough where if you have no equipment at home, if you pair a few of these exercises together, you have yourself a full-blown like cardio metabolic workout as well, and strength as well. So this is the crab position. You kind of look like a crab, right? I have my hands rotated back behind me. I have my feet flat on the floor, and I'm gonna be pulling my hips towards my wrists just enough where my back it remains neutral. So you don't wanna arch your back and you don't wanna round, you wanna just stay neutral. Then I'm going to remove one hand, and then I'm gonna shoot my hips up as high as I can get them. I'm pulling back this bottom shoulder, and I'm gonna stretch towards the floor, looking down at that bottom hand. Huge, huge stretch, guys. This opens up the whole body. And then of course, get the other side. I'm gonna remove one hand. Again, I hope nobody sees anything they don't need to. These shorts are short. Reach, stretch it, and bring it down. And that's like, I'm sweating already. So if that says anything, that's tough. And you can do reps of that. So those are 3 exercises that you guys can give out a try. And I always say to my clients as well, when you open up your body, you open up your mind. So it really has a chain reaction to everything else that you do in the day. So I hope that was helpful. Let's take a breather for a second. Whew, those were tiring. We're gonna go next into nutrition. Okay, so again, nutrition is a huge topic. We can talk all day about it. But right now, let's focus on the most important topics. So first and foremost, again, we've talked a lot about stress. You can put quite a bit of stress on your gut if you choose the wrong foods over and over again. So we're gonna talk about that. Few simple things that you can take away with today is you wanna try to eat your last meal 3 hours before bed. So again, consistency is really the way to go here. You wanna really set that time, like by what is your non-negotiable dinner time? When are you gonna stop eating for the night? So that way you can calculate what time is bedtime, what time is dinner time. The reason for that is think of sleep as like a workout, right? You can't just jump into bed and expect yourself to sleep perfectly. Just like you wouldn't, or at least I would not recommend you jump into a workout without properly warming yourself up. So in order for your body to be kind of primed into sleep, it needs to only focus on that sleep, and it needs time to wind down. And so if you're flushing in a bunch of food in your system right before bed, your body's trying to digest, and it's not going to be focusing on getting to sleep. So you're going to risk staying up and having a hard time go to sleep. Next, we go into the inflammatory foods. So it depends on person to person, but typically most people tend to be inflamed by eating foods with gluten, foods with dairy, processed foods, pretty much anything that comes out of a box or a bag that's not a fruit or vegetable or a piece of animal protein. Those foods can have a detrimental effect on your sleep, because when you are inflamed, your body is not relaxed. Your stress hormones are extra high, and it's going to cause maybe digestive comfort. It could cause just general brain fog, which we talked about, that mental stress. We want to try to eliminate that as much as possible, especially when it comes to sleep. Kelly also mentioned caffeine and the effects of adenosine. Super powerful. You I think it's also important to remember what has caffeine in it. So coffee, teas, many teas have caffeine, kombucha, which is excellent. A lot of these things are like healthy, right? But they have caffeine. Diet sodas, normal sodas, obviously energy drinks, things like that. They all have caffeine, and you want to make sure that you really try to stop having those midday or before. And then tobacco, as it has nicotine, and that's a stimulant. So we want to make sure that we're avoiding all of those things before bed. And instead, if you're questioning what you should be eating for bed or before bed, I would say to try to make your dinners as light and easily digestible as possible. So at the very extreme, have a smoothie, right? Because a smoothie is liquid, and that's going to be the easiest to digest. If you guys need help purchasing or want to know how to purchase a high quality protein powder, I'd be more than happy to show you. This is one that I've been using recently. It's pretty good. It's a plant-based protein cause. I do a lot of smoothies for my dinners because it's so easy, and it's, again, very light on the stomach. If you didn't want to do a protein smoothie, I also recommend building a meal with a lot of protein and veggies. That's just a very light meal. You're not overloading your body with carbs that it doesn't need. You're keeping it very light, easy to digest. Some other helpful swaps in terms of like for your caffeine or your alcohol fixes, which actually there's a typo. There should have been alcohol under inflammatory foods. Alcohol is highly inflammatory. And like Kelly mentioned about the effects of it, it kind of makes you feel like it helps you sleep, but it really has like a ricochet effect and really damages your sleep and highly inflammatory on your body. So if you want some ways to counteract that, you could do a caffeine-free tea like peppermint. It's really delicious, also very soothing. If you want something else cold, you could do like sparkling water. I like to do that. Or like I said, you could make a smoothie, and if you're interested in a recipe, let me know, and we can add you to our email list where I send out some recipes. Cool. And then finally, we talk about movement, we've talked about nutrition. Now we're going to talk about the recovery, some extra things that you can do for your sleep. Again, reducing your exposure to artificial light. So a few things that you can do is when it gets dark out, wherever you live, try to start dimming the lights in your house, even just a little bit. If you have a dimmer, that's awesome. You can light some candles. Just try to avoid so much artificial light. And if you're like getting ready for bed, try not to like blast the bathroom door or the bathroom with like bright light. Like you can go to the bathroom in the dark, I'm pretty sure. Just, keep it clean. You don't need the extra light. Setting technology boundaries. You really want to try to be off of your phone, TV, all of that stuff about an hour before bed, and that's pushing it. I would say honestly more. I notice a huge effect in this with myself when I'm on the computer really late trying to get extra work done. I feel it because I'm sitting in bed longer, and I know why. It's because of the extra technology time. Blue light blocking glasses are super helpful. It's kind of a little biohack. I bought these. They're Prospect brand. I wear them sometimes just for fun. Like they're super good, and they work really nicely. They help to block some of that blue light that I'm getting through the computer right now, so that I'm not as exposed. And then finally, like I mentioned, try to get some daily sunlight every single day. Even if it's cloudy out, you're still getting that good benefit from the sun. Your bed is your sanctuary. Again, Kelly mentioned this. You really should only be having sex and sleeping in your bed. Your bed should really not be a place that you do work in. Shouldn't be the place that you just kind of hang out in, because what you're doing is you're psychologically training your body to associate your bed with sleep and a handful of other things. So it's no surprise that when you're trying to go to bed each night, you may have a much harder time to make that connection. So avoid spending any more than 20 minutes awake in your bed. And then finally, consistency is queen. So try your best to set up some long-term habits with your sleep by setting the same wake up time and bedtime Monday through Sunday. And I know this is tough, but maybe now during COVID, it might be easier, right? We're not going out to restaurants, we're not going to the club, whatever you do on the weekends. So try to set a non-negotiable time and try your best to try to stick to it 7 days out of the week. I know that's tough, but it really does help. Think about a PM, evening routine wind down. Kelly mentioned a bunch of really awesome techniques like meditation, journaling. I do all of those. They all work really well. And then try to plan your exercise around the same time. So I wouldn't recommend trying a workout at 5 a.m. and then doing like a 9 p.m. workout. So the more consistent you are with your habits, you're going to be able to see, okay, this works, this didn't work, and so on. So I hope I didn't talk too fast, guys. I know that we have limited time. I really challenge you with this information. Out of everything you learned from me and Kelly and the breakouts that you've done, try to commit to one thing that you are going to just slay for the next 2 weeks. One thing. Maybe it's, I'm just going to set my bedtime tonight and I'm going to stick to that bedtime for the next 2 weeks. Do that. Because I think that's all what this is about, is just what's the one baby step that you can commit to. So I want to thank you guys so much for listening. I hope this served you. I would really love to stay connected. There's my information if you want to follow me on Instagram, or you can also email me, and I'd love to have you as part of my weekly newsletter. And again, I'm coming out with a healthy cookbook, so I'd love to share that with you guys for any of you who want to get creative and healthy in the kitchen. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was very helpful.
Awesome.
Yes, definitely. I do have a couple of questions. So let's see if we can kind of answer this real fast, because I know we're coming very well. We're technically already like 8:31 p.m. here. Okay, so do you recommend eating just fruits for dinner or before bed? Because I know you mentioned something about either a smoothie with protein or like a lean meal, you know, like protein with veggies. What about just like fruits? Is that okay, or is that too much sugar?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's super common. People like to demonize fruits. No, fruits are absolutely amazing for you. I think you have more to worry about if you're not getting, you know, good quality meals throughout the day. If you're feeling fruit for dinner, go for it. I think what it comes down to is balance and the quality of the nutrition. So if your choices was a bag of chips or an apple, obviously I would go choose the apple. It's going to give you some good energy. And I would say definitely, like, if you had the choice between an apple and a source of protein, I would choose the protein. So always protein, and then whole foods like fruit are excellent as well.
Great. Last question. How can I start going to bed earlier if I am a person that does not have a consistent sleep schedule?
Okay. So I would say that this is an opportunity for you to just start anywhere. Like right now, sometimes the best place to start is logging and just getting awareness for what your patterns are. It's kind of like when you're deciding like how to start improving your nutrition. It's like, what do I do? Try to start a journal and log what your sleep patterns currently are. So I also coach clients just exclusively on sleep. And this is where we start square one. Is I have them log, okay, every day I went to sleep at this time and I went to bed at this time. Do that for maybe 1 week. See what patterns you have. And then you can start to make a more of a wiser first choice on what that time should be like for you. So if you notice like you're typically going to sleep around midnight, maybe you're going to shoot for 11:45. Very small incremental changes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was wonderful.
Thank
and
you.
also like the poses. I think that was like, oh, I like new poses to try. So that's really cool that you shared them.
I'm sorry if it was hard to watch. My apartment's very dark.
That's okay. Would you mind turning off your screen share?
Sure.
Thank you so much.
How do I do that?
I think you just need to click on stop sharing. Do you see that one? Go back to your Zoom. I think that should be in there. The Zoom app.
Zoom.
Yeah, I'm not, I feel like I don't have the button that I like went missing on me.
Hold on one second.
Options at the top. Screen.
Options.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can override you. Okay,
sorry.
there you go. No worries. I think I can. All right, cool. All right, who wants to do virtual selfie before we announce the winner for the giveaway?
Let's do that.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. Let me just like grab my stuff over here. Everybody turn on your camera and I will do the selfie for us. How do I do this? Okay. I think I can see that. Okay, cool. In 3, 2, 1, say cheese. All right, we did it. I'll figure out how to brighten it up later. All right, so I'm gonna pass it to Veronica. Wait, hold on, Victoria. I always mess up some names. Sorry about that. Yeah, Veronica. Sorry, my mind's not.
Maybe we have Victoria. I don't mind.
We do have Victoria? Hey, no? Okay. Veronica, go ahead and announce the winner for the sleepwear, the lucky lady that will win that particular sleepwear.
Ooh.
And then after that, I will also announce the winner for the earrings as well as the base health.
Do you mind give me a share screen?
Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah, because we want to do it online so everyone can see that.
Yeah, go ahead. You should be able to share screen.
This is the list we have so far. Please take a quick moment and let me know if you entered the giveaway, but we don't have your name, so we can double check on that.
Yeah, so we double check that everyone follows every rule.
Oh my God, I didn't even see that. Can I?
Can't hear
Can't hear you.
Couldn't hear you either.
Can you put it on the chat? You can go ahead and start, Veronica.
All right. This very interesting tool that I found.
Yeah, I'm using that one too. So, okay.
All right.
Let's
1,
spin it.
2, 3.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and the winner is Zinaida 626. I don't believe there is someone who is at the event right now, correct?
I don't think so, but I believe that you can reach out to them via email, and then we can kind of contact
we'll do
her that way.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sure.
All right, so I'm gonna share my screen so that we can announce the other 2 winners. Give me a second.
Okay, stop doing that. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, so this is basically everyone who are here today. So I'm going to select the first one. Yeah. Nice. Oh, that was very close. Jen, you're winning. Congrats. Okay, Jen, I'll let you know all the info for base health. And then for the earrings, let me remove you because you already want one. Okay, so next one, let's see who's gonna win. Okay, Maggie, you got the earrings. Ooh, I'm so jealous. That is a nice earring. I kind of want it myself. But hey, congrats for everyone who actually wins the stuff tonight. I will reach out to all the winners, excluding the sleepwear. That will be from Veronica. And honestly, this was so much fun. I learned so much about sleep. And I hope everyone enjoying all the presentation from our speakers, Kelly and Marisol, today. We're so excited to have you earlier here and, you know, to be able to see you as well at the event tonight. Hopefully you also have made some good connections. If you want to reach out to anyone who are, you know, attending the event today, feel free to leave out your information on the chat and I will recap those later and I will send it out to everyone who have attended the event tonight. Any questions? All good?
And a special thank you to everybody, Felice Donna, Evolve Her, Meva, and Base Health for making this possible. Thank you for our amazing speakers. I learned a lot, and I know I personally go through a lot of sleep issues myself, so this has been very helpful. And if you guys wouldn't mind, we can just take a photo of the screenshot right here of all of us, and if just to support each other, I'd love if we can tag all the speakers and the brands that help make this possible, just to show our giving back to them for taking the time out of their Saturday to talk about sleep. So I took a picture. If you guys want to just get your phones out and just take a photo of all of us. Ari, if you can minimize the,
yeah.
for now, and then I'll talk about the membership, we can wrap it up. But I'm gonna just take a photo of all of us. I encourage you guys to take it as well, and I'll tag all of you. And we can just tag us tonight and tag everybody. Ready? So 1, 2, 3. Awesome, guys. Thank you. And lastly, I'm going to finish with the membership. Again, if you're interested, you do get a special discount today for joining up with Creative Women's Co., where you get access to all of our virtual events that we've had in the past couple months, as well as future events. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to give me a call. But thank you again for everyone that came. Hope you all have a great evening, and good night.
Enjoy your beauty sleep.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.